Hello guys, I am Jasmeet and welcome to Blogging Unplugged. On this channel, we will share information related to WordPress, blogging, product tutorials, updates, and more. Now in today's video, we are going to talk about the latest WordPress update, which is the 5.9 that was released on 25th of January 2022. Now this update was packed with features as it included the release of the second phase of the full site editing that WordPress has been working on for a very long time. Now in this update, a blog-based theme, the first blog-based theme 2022 has also been released by WordPress. Like every year, WordPress releases a theme. This year it was 2022, which is the first blog-based theme. And along with it, new theme blocks as well as improvement to existing blocks was introduced. So we are going to cover everything in this video and it is going to be a long one. So with that said, let's take a look at the topics I have covered in this video, and after that I will start sharing my screen. So the first thing that I'm going to share in this video is the setup I'm going to use. It will be followed up by a brief history lesson of WordPress 5.8 because template editing was introduced in WordPress 5.8. So we're going to take a look at how it is connected to WordPress 5.9. After that, I'm going to install the new blog-based theme, which is the 2022, and then we are going to take a look at the general differences that you are going to notice in the WordPress admin, how things are going to work, and more. After that, we'll take a look at the new site editor. It will be a brief walkthrough where we will be taking a look at all the new settings that have been, released by WordPress and how can you use them. And we will follow it up by taking a look at the new theme blocks introduced in WordPress 5.9, followed up by the changes to the existing blocks and the Gutenberg editor in general. Now, there have been certain changes that have been made to the login screens, registration screens, and the reset password screens. We will be taking a look at that as well. As this is a long video, you can find the timestamps for every topic covered in the description box below and in the first pinned comment. So with that said, let's dive into the video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you find the content helpful. Hello guys, and welcome to the setup of this video. As you can see, for this video we are working with 3 tabs here. The first tab has the current version, which is the WordPress 5.9 installed. The second tab has the a previous version of WordPress 5.8.3 installed, and the third tab has the article that we have done on WordPress 5.9. So why 3 tabs? First things first, in the article we have mentioned certain code snippets that you can use to basically enable and disable certain features that have been introduced in WordPress 5.9. The first and the second tab, which is the WordPress 5.9 and 5.8 tabs, are basically for the comparison purposes. Now this will make my life much easier when making you understand differences between or basically what are the changes that have been introduced in both, and you could visually see the differences once compared. So that will make things easier for you and easier for me as well. So with that said, let's dive into a brief history lesson on WordPress 5.8. Before we dive into this history lesson on WordPress 5.8, it is important to know that we have as of now installed the 2021 theme on both the installations, and once I will make the switch, I'll let you know. Now the reason behind this is simple. You will notice a considerable amount of differences when you will switch from a non-blog based editor theme or a customizer based theme to a blog based editor theme. So I would like to take you through all of those differences and will be showing you each and every difference in this video. So keeping that in mind, let's dive into the history lesson. Now in WordPress 5.8, the first phase of the full site editing was introduced in WordPress. Now that included features like template editing and the release of new theme blocks. Now template editing was disabled by default, and to enable it, you had to add a code in the functions.php file of the theme. Now we have mentioned that code on our article on WordPress 5.9, and the link to that will be in the description box below. And in this section, what we are going to do is, first, we are going to add a post and see for ourselves if the template editing exists in the 2021 theme, which is a non-blog based theme. After that, we will add the code and see if the template tab appears. If it does, what can you do with it? Now, we are not going to create a template for the post types as of now in this video. Now, after that, we will activate the 2022 theme, and you will see that the template editing appears automatically as it comes with the site editor. So with that said, let's add a new post and see for ourselves if the template tab appears. So we'll go ahead and click add new. Now you can see here that there is no template tab available as of now. So what we are going to do now is we're going to hop onto the WordPress 5.9 article and copy this code from here. And then we are going to head over to Appearance, Theme File Editor. And I'll select the functions.php file and add this code snippet at the bottom. Then I'm going to click update file. And once the file is updated, I'm going to refresh this page. Now, as soon as I refresh this page, what I can see here is that there is a new template tab and there is a new button or a new link that lets you create a template. Now I'm going to click this new button here and you can see it asks me to add the name of the custom template, and I can click the create button here and a new custom template will be created for this post type. So I'm not going to go ahead and create a template as of now. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to head over to themes and install the new 2022 theme, which is the blog based theme introduced in WordPress 5.9. I'm going to click activate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new post. Now, as soon as you will add a new post, you will see there is this template tab available by default. And the template that is being used is the single post template. Now you can either create a new template for this post type, or you can edit the existing one. Now, again, I won't be doing it. This is just for the comparison purposes. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to close this tab right here and I'm going to show you another difference. Now to see this difference, what I'll have to do is I'll have to activate the 2021 theme again. Then you will notice a difference when I'll hover my cursor over all of these themes. So let me just go ahead and activate this theme. Now once the 2021 theme is activated, you will see when I bring my cursor over to the 2022 theme, it shows me a button to live preview this. Now we all know we can live preview themes, and this live preview is a customizer based preview. It basically uses the customizer to show you the preview. Now this button is missing in the new blog based themes. Now the difference here is that the site editor has replaced the customizer in the blog-based themes, and that is why the button is missing. Now some of you may be thinking, now how can we activate a theme without seeing the live preview of it? And yes, that is true. Now what WordPress is going to do here is that they will soon release a live preview for the blog-based themes as well. And once that support is added, you will see the live preview button just like the other themes over here, and then you will be able to easily live preview any theme. Now for right now, what I will recommend you do is not use the blog-based themes on your site. Now the reason behind this is simple. The new site editor or the full site editing is currently in beta. Okay, so let WordPress release more updates towards it and make this platform a little more stable. Let the community release a few more themes, and then you will have the option to use it on your sites. Now, in the meantime, I will suggest that you familiarize yourself with the new site editor, because if you are looking to create custom templates on WordPress, then this is the feature that you should know, and WordPress is heading quickly towards it. Moving forward, I will activate the 2022 theme and will take you through a few more of the changes. Now that I have activated the 2022 theme, the next difference that we are going to take a look at is the introduction of new theme blocks in WordPress 5.9. Now for this, what we are going to do is we're going to add 2 new posts and then head over to the block inserter to the theme section and see for ourselves what are the new blocks introduced in WordPress 5.9. So let me just add 2 posts and then I will show you the difference. So this is a new post that I've created in the WordPress 5.8 installation, and to see the theme blocks that were introduced in WordPress 5.8, let's just head over to the block inserter and then to the themes section and see the blocks for ourselves. Now, as you can see, there were 8 blocks that were introduced in WordPress 5.8, and this list has been extended in WordPress 5.9. Now, there are certain blocks that have been, moved from the design section to the theme section, and there are a few new blocks that have been introduced. So for that, let's just head over to the new post that I have created in WordPress 5.9 and see the theme block sections for ourselves. So this is a new post in WordPress 5.9. Let's just click the block inserter here and then head over to the themes section. Now, as you can see, there is a considerable difference in the amount of blocks that were there in WordPress 5.8 to WordPress 5.9. Now, the new blocks that have been introduced in WordPress 5.9 are navigation block, site tagline, post author, post comment, next post, previous post, and term description. Now, rest of the blocks have been moved either from the design blocks to the theme blocks, or were available in the previous version of WordPress, which was the 5.8. Now, in this video, we will be taking an in-depth look into the navigation and the site logo blocks, and for the remaining blocks, I will create more videos. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video if you are finding the content helpful. Now, moving on, the next change we will be discussing is to the appearance menu. Now, this is a major change that you will see once you activate the block-based theme. Now, as you can see, we have already activated the 2022 theme in our WordPress 5.9 installation, and the changes to the appearance menu are quite noticeable. Now, for just a second, let's just go back to WordPress 5.8 and see the appearance menu there. Now, let's just click appearance. Now, here you can see all of the options available, the regular options that you see available, which is the customize widgets, menus, background, theme editor, and more. When you activate a block-based theme, all of these options are replaced by the editor, which is in beta. Now, this is the new site editor, which has been released by WordPress for the block-based themes, and using it, you will be able to design your site, from scratch. You can create template parts, and more. Now, it is important to know here that, when you will activate any of the customizer based themes such as 2021, you will see all of these options back and you will not get access to this new site editor. Now, just for the sake of knowledge purpose, let's just activate the 2021 theme and see it for ourselves. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click activate, and you will see all of the regular options will come back. Okay, now you again get access to everything that you have been using, but you do not get access to the new site editor. Now, when I click activate over here, all of those options are replaced by the editor. Another thing that you need to know here is that the theme file editor and the plugin file editor have been moved to the tools section when you activate the 2022 theme. Now, you can see here, let's just go to tools for once, and you can see here theme file editor and plugin file editor are right at the bottom here. Now, in case you want to make changes to your plugin related files or themes related files, then you will have to go to the tools. In case you are using a block based theme like 2022. For rest of the themes, the options are still going to be the same. You will find the plugin editor in the plugin option and the theme editor in the appearance menu. It is just for the block-based themes. So you have to keep in mind this difference. Now that you are familiar with the changes to the appearance menu, the next thing we are going to take a look at is the new site editor that has been released in WordPress 5.9. This will be a general walkthrough of everything that you need to know, just to make sure that you are familiar with all of the options. We won't be taking an in-depth look at this point of time, but I will be creating tutorials for it. So with that said, let's head over to the appearance menu and click the new editor option. Doing this will take you to the new site editor. Now, in the first look, the new site editor released in WordPress 5.9 looks exactly the same as the editor that you are right now using to create posts and pages in WordPress. Now, there are a lot of similarities and dissimilarities, and we will be discussing them as we move forward in the video. Now, it is important to know here that it is using this interface that you will be changing the colors, the typography, the layout, We'll be creating templates, we'll be creating template parts and more. Now, another thing that you have to keep in mind here is that this new site editor replaces the customizer in the block-based themes. And that is why whatever changes that you will make here will be reflected across the site. So keep in mind that whatever changes that you make, you are sure about those changes, and then you go ahead and press that publish or save button. Now moving on, there are quite a few familiar options in the primary toolbar of the new site editor, and there are quite a few new ones. Let's just talk about the familiar ones first, and then we'll jump onto the new ones. Now the familiar ones are the WordPress logo right over here. In most cases, it lets you exit the WordPress editor. Now the block inserter, using which you can insert the blocks, the tools option over here, using which you can select or edit the blocks, the undo and redo options, the list view, the list view that shows you the list of the blocks that you have inserted in your page, then the preview option over here, the save and publish button, the gear icon for the settings of the block or the page. In this case it will be the template, and the ellipsis menu over here. Now there are a few new options, as we said, and the new options are the home page button right over here. Now this is basically, as you can see, when I hover my mouse pointer over it, it shows you the template details. So this is the option. When you will click, it will show you that you are editing basically the home page template. It will be followed up by the name of the template or the section that you are going to edit. Now we are going to dive into it a bit later in this tutorial only. For right now, you just have to remember it will show you the template name. Now after this option, you will see that there is this option over here, which is the style settings. Now under these settings, you will find the options to edit the typography, the colors, the layout of the template, or any or the template part that you are going to do. Now WordPress has introduced amazing features in this new site editor that you have to get familiar with. Now I'm again saying WordPress is heading quickly towards this thing. Now more updates will be released around this, so get yourself familiar with this, but don't use it as of now, as this thing is in beta right now. So don't use it on your your live sites, but use it on your but get familiar with it. Now after this, now the first change that I'm going to talk about here is that it's a very simple change. Some of us are in the habit of using the full screen editor, which you can see right now. This is the site editor right now is in the full screen mode, and some of us are not in the habit of using it in the full screen mode. Now I personally prefer using it in the full screen mode, and in the the default editor you get the option to disable it. In the site editor, in this new site editor, you do not get the option to disable this full screen mode. So this means if you are not in the habit of using it, then there may be a little bit of problems when it comes to adjusting, but eventually you will get to it. Now the first option that I would like to discuss in this new site editor's walkthrough is the WordPress logo. Now this option is a very familiar option, but it works very differently in this case. Now what happens here is when you click this WordPress logo, it opens in navigation. It doesn't exit you back to the dashboard like it does when you are creating pages or posts using the Gutenberg editor. It rather shows you a navigation. Now the first option that you see in the navigation menu is the site. Now when you click this option, it will take you back to the template that you are going to edit. Okay, that you are editing. Currently we are editing the template for the home page. If you are editing the template for some other page, it will show you that. The next option that you see is the templates. Now let's just click this option, and it will show us all of the templates for different pages on this site that came with this theme, that came with the 2022 theme. Now you see an option on top right here that lets you add a new template. In case you are looking to create a new template, you can click this option, add your very own customized template. Now the last option on this list is the template parts. Now as the name suggests, this is the parts that constitutes a template basically. Now in 2022 you get access to 4 of these: the footer, the header dark and large, the header dark small, and the header. Okay, it's up to you to use whatever template parts that you want to use on your page. As you can insert it using just a single block, and I will show you that block. Okay, and in case you want to create a a new template part for yourself, a custom section for yourself, or a collection of blocks for yourself, then you can do that by clicking this add new button. Now it is important to know here that the area settings that you see right here, the general, header, and footer, you got to keep this in mind, and I will cover this in the part where I will take you through the template name setting. The template name option that you see in the middle of the primary toolbar. Now the last option on this list is the dashboard. Now when you click this option, it will exit you to the dashboard. Okay, it will take you back to the dashboard, and clicking the WordPress logo again will close the menu where you are. It will be closed. Now clicking the site take you back to the template that you are editing. Now the next option that we are going to discuss is the template drop down that you see in the middle of the primary toolbar in your site editor. Now first things first, it displays the name of the template that you are editing. Currently we are editing the homepage template, so you can see it right over here. Now what happens if I select the hero section? Now if I select the hero section, it displays the name of the template part that I'm going to edit. Now the next part of it. Now what happens if I select the this site title over here? It displays the name of the area that I'm going to edit. Now this makes it very easy for us to basically know what we are editing and what area does it belong to. Makes the job of basically working on a template part or on an area pretty much very easy. Now let's just click the drop down over here, and as you can see, this drop down has 3 options. The first one is the header, the second one is the footer, and the final option is the option that is the browse all templates option. So when you click on this browse all templates option, it takes you back to that same page where you will see all of the templates. Now let's just click this option for once and see it for ourselves. You see, it will take you back to the templates page. Now here again, it lets you create a new template. It's just the list of the templates that probably you have created or came with the theme. Now let's just go back to the site that we are editing. So you can see right over here. Now talking about the areas on a template, as you can see, the homepage template has 2 areas, the header and the footer. Now as you already know, the header will always contain the navigations, the logos, the site title, the social icons and stuff like that, and the footer will have other important links. Now what happens here when I click the header? Now when I click the header, it selects the whole thing. It selects the whole area. That is this one, this template. Basically it selects it. And what happens when I click the footer? It takes me to the footer area of the page. Now there was another option that you must have seen when we were discussing about adding the template parts, and let's just go to that option and see it for ourselves. Now let's just create and let's just hit add new. So you can see right here is that there are three areas that WordPress lets you select. The first one is the general, the second one is the header, the third one is the footer. Now the general area is anywhere between the header and the footer. It could be the area where you post things, you post your content, is your sidebar, can be anything in general. The header template, the header area basically contains your navigation, site logos, the social link, the site title and stuff like that. The footer area basically contains the navigations, again, maybe a search bar, maybe a logo and stuff like that. It's all of the important links or the privacy policy links and the other legal links and stuff like that. That constitutes basically the footer section of your site. So header is the head section, basically the top of your top of your template. The general section is the middle, and the footer section is the bottom of your template. So you got to keep in mind when creating this. Now, another important thing that you have to know here is that there is this option that lets you navigate between the areas and lets you select the areas and take you to them so that you can, edit them easily. This option you will find in the sidebar as well. You can click the gear icon over here, then click the template, and the areas will be displayed right over here. Now, when I click the header, it displays the header. When I go to the footer, it takes me to the footer. Header, footer. So now you know that you can toggle between the areas on a template using two options. The first one is right over here, right in the center. And the second one is when you click the gear icon in the template settings, basically it will toggle between. Now, the next new option in the new site editor that we are going to discuss is the global style settings, and you can find it by clicking this black and white icon right next to the gear icon. Now, when I click this icon, it displays the styles, which is in beta right now. So this setting lets you customize or change the fonts, colors, the layout. And the best part about this is that you can design specific blocks based on your requirements. This means you can, change the, typography, color, backgrounds of specific blocks based on your, needs or requirements. We will be covering this in this video. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, the first option that you will come across in the global site settings in the new site editor is the typography. And when you click this option, it lets you manage typography settings for text and links. Now let's just click text first and then we'll jump to the links. Now when you click text, it shows that you can change the font family, font size, line height, and the appearance. Now appearance is basically the font weight. You want it to be bold, italics, semi-bold, whatever is that you want, you can select it from the option from this drop down based on your requirements. Now any changes that you will make here will be reflected globally, so make those changes very carefully. And there is a preview option on top, this one. So if I select bold over here, it will change the text over here to bold. It will show you basically a preview. So right now I'm gonna just keep it to default, and let's just see the settings for links. Now in links you will find similar settings. Again, you can change the font family, sizes, the line height, and the appearance, which is again the font weight. Now in case you are wondering what are these numbers in the size, in the 1, 2, 3 and 4, these are basically the presets, and you can change these presets by clicking this icon over here. When you click this option, it lets you select a custom size for the font. It's up to you, whatever the value you want for the links basically on your site, you can set that value over here. Now moving on, the second option that you will see in the global site settings is the color. So color is basically, it lets you change the color of the text, the links, the background, and everything related. The good thing about colors is that it comes with a predefined color palette. The 2022 theme basically comes with a predefined color palette, and it lets you select a color palette as well. So let's just see that first, how you can define a color palette. So for that, you will have to click this palette option over here, this 17 colors option over here. Then you see this option custom over here. You can click this option and a color picker appears, and you can select it like this, and you can say my color, and that's it. You have a color over here, and then click done. It will appear like this. Now if in case you want to add another color, let's just say second color. And that's it. You have the second color. Click done over here, and that's it. You can add as many colors as you want. Now you can see here, the default theme colors are defined over here. The default colors are defined over here, and it lets you select from both the gradients and the solids. So once you have defined the colors over here, then these colors will appear in the block settings, from where you will be able to use them on the text, basically the backgrounds and stuff like that. Let's just go back for once and see the elements. In elements you can set the color for the background first. Now again, let's just click background, and it will let you select the color. Currently white is selected. In case you want to click this over here. Now this is the new option, this is the new color picker. I'll get to it once we are in the post editor. I will talk about the color picker over here, but the color picker UI has changed, so let's just get it out of the way. Now you can change you can select any colors from the themes, the default, the custom ones. Let's just select a custom one, and you can see, you know, the changes are reflected instantly. And if I click back over here, you can see in the main preview as well, the you know, the color has changed. So let's just go back, click background, and see it for ourselves. Change it back to white, and you know, so you can again select the solid colors, gradient pick from theme colors, default, the custom colors that you want to add. It's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. This is a very powerful feature that, you know, WordPress has introduced in this, you know, new site editor. Now again, for the text, you can change the text color. Again, the options are pretty much the same. You can select the color, select it using the color picker. You can choose the custom colors, you can use the custom colors or the default colors that comes with the theme. Again, the links colors you can change as well. It is totally up to you, whatever is that you want to do, and however you want to design your site, so that you can have a really unique design. Now again, as of now, don't use these features on a main site. Do it on a local host environment or something like that, on a staging site, just to be familiar with these things. Now the last option on this list is the layout option. Now when you click this layout option, it will show you just the one option as of now. Now this option lets you add padding across the container. So let's just push 20 pixels of padding. You will see it has added the padding across the container. There are multiple units to select from. Pixel is the default one. Then you have the percentages, EMs, rems, the view widths, the view heights, whatever is that you want to pick. Now I'm going to delete it from here. I'm going to show you. Now this is the link option over here. You can click this and you can unlink everything. Okay, now if you want to change the padding on top to 30, you can change it over here and see the padding has changed. It's totally up to you what you want to do using these options. These options are going to give you a diverse tool set to, you know, basically create the site that you want to create, basically using just the default WordPress editor or the new site editor. Now let's just go back from here, and the last option on the list that you see over here is the block settings. Now this is the setting using which you can customize or design specific blocks based on your requirements. So in case you want to change the background of the heading block or the font family of the heading block or paragraph block or whatever block is that you want to change it for, you can do it using this option. When you click this option, it will show you a list of blocks. So what you can do right now here is, let me just select the heading block over here and change the typography, its appearance to, you know, extra bold, and set the size to 32. You can see the changes, and that's it. Let's just make these changes for right now. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to color. I'm going to select a background color of this blue, so that it looks very different. Now you can see, as soon as I've made the change to the heading block, the changes are reflected over here, right? So these are global changes. You got to be sure the changes that you are making works for you, you know, that you are very sure about the changes that you are making. Obviously you can go back and change those things, but that is a hassle once you've created something, and then you know, you will have to go back and make those changes, so it can make you land in a bit of soup. So again, you can change the colors for the text, the links, basically all of the same settings that you were doing for the site globally, you can do it for the blocks as well. So I'm gonna go here and clear everything that I was using, and that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and see the layout. Again, you can add the margin this time. So the options, let's just see, let's just click here. No, just the margin option is available. So in case you are not familiar with margins and paddings, or you have confusion regarding them, the padding padding is basically inside the block, and margin is basically outside the block. So you got to keep this in mind, that whatever you are setting, whatever the values you are setting over here works perfectly fine with the heading blocks. So this concludes a basic tutorial on, you know, basic walkthrough of the new site editor and the global site settings that are in the new site editor. Now in the middle of the video I told you that I'll show you how you can add template parts to your basically a template. So let me just show you how you can do that easily. So we already have the existing template parts. So what we can do here is we can click this inserter icon and we can search for template parts block. Now as soon as I will add this block, it will give me an option to basically choose an existing template part that probably I've created or create a new template part. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose an existing one from the list, and let's just add this one for right now. And you can see, you know, it's the same one, but this is how you add it. Basically, in case you have created customized parts for your site, then you can add it using this block. Now the next thing that I'm going to discuss is the changes to the menu, how you can add menus in using the new site editor, because the menu option is missing from the appearance menu. We have discussed that before. So there is a new way using which you can add menus in WordPress when you're using block themes, and that is using the navigation blocks. Now for that, let me just create a few pages first, and then we'll start off by adding the navigation block and creating a new navigation menu for you. So I just went ahead and added these 3 new pages, which are the about, contact and services page. These are basically the blank pages, and I have just created them to show you the demonstration of the navigation block, or how you can create menus in WordPress 5.9 using the new site editor. So what we are going to do is we are going to go back to the new site editor, and we are going to see the changes here. Now you can see the navigation has changed instantly, because you know it basically was set to add all pages to it. Now to see the difference, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another navigation block right below it, and then we are going to see it for ourselves. Now here's the navigation block. Let me just add it. Now when I add the navigation block, it shows nothing basically. Now let's just select it again. Now on selecting it again, it shows 3 options. The first one is the select menu option, using which it lets you, select an existing menu. Then or add all pages, which is this option. This navigation has been created using this option. It basically adds a page list to the navigation automatically, and you just don't have to do anything. The last option is the start empty option, which is it gives you a blank slate to work with. Now let's just look at the select menu option first, and then we'll go ahead taking a look at all the other options. Now when you click the select menu option over here, it displays the existing menus that you have on your site. Now the thing here is that you can either select one of them, or you can create your very own menu by adding the custom links. Now you must be thinking, how can you add custom links to this navigation menu that already have pages and is already extracting pages? Basically as soon as you add pages, it automatically adds the page to the navigation. Now here is the thing that you can do. You can add custom pages to a menu by clicking this plus button. Now when you click this plus button, it adds a link automatically. It shows a link pop-up. Here you can add a link. Basically it could be to your website, it could be an internal link, external link, whatever is it. You can link to another website. For example, you want to showcase a Facebook group here, and you can do that as well. And once you are done, you can just click this icon over here and it will add the link. Now there is a striking difference between both of these entities. You basically cannot rearrange this menu over here. So for example, if you want the services to be before contact, you cannot do that because this is just one block. Now for this, what you have to do is you need to convert this page list block into custom links. Now custom links does allow you to do that. However, the page list block doesn't allow you to do that. So what we are going to do is we're going to click edit over here, and it shows a pop-up where it lets you know that you're going to convert these into custom links, and it will allow you to add, reorder, remove items, or change their labels. So you can click convert over here, and now you can rearrange them easily. And now it's right here, and you can rename these as well. Services 1. Let's just add the name as services 1. Okay, or change this name to company. You can do whatever you want with this thing. So once you have converted the page list blocks to the custom links blocks, you can do pretty much anything. You can reorder, rearrange, convert them into whatever is that you want to do. We'll get to that part later. This is how you add basically a navigation in the new site editor. Now some of you must be thinking, we used to add the navigation in the customizer and it allowed us to change name of the navigation as well. So what you can do here is to change the navigation. What you have to do here is you got to select the navigation block over here and then head over to the advanced tab over here, and it will let you change the name of the navigation. Whatever is the name that you want to add over here, you can go ahead and do that. You can rename the menu basically. Another thing is once you have created the navigation, it takes away all of the options and gives you this one. The select menu option is the only one remaining. You can click this option. It gives you two options. Either it lets you select from an existing menu if you want to change it, and the other two options is a tool, which is the create new menu tool and manage menu tools. You know about create new menu option. Let's just click the manage menus option and open it in a new tab. When you click manage menus, it will take you to this page. It will show you all of the navigation menus that you have created. Now as of now, if you click this option, if you click the edit option, it takes you nowhere. Basically it shows you nothing. But what you can do here is you can change the name of the navigation in case you want to delete it or do whatever is that you want to do, or create a new navigation. You can do that over here, but this is the most that you can do with right now with the manage navigation option. I think so it is best suited if you want to bulk delete menus in case you have accidentally added too many menus just while trying. Then you can delete it using this option. Now that you are somewhat familiar with the navigation block, you must be thinking, how can you add a logo to navigation, or maybe you want to add social icons or a search box. Now you can do that easily by clicking this button over here. You can select the menu. Let me just select the navigation. It gives you this option. Now you can see here you can easily add a site logo, site icon and search block. Now another important thing you have to keep in mind here is that you can transform the custom links into the site logo, social icons and search block as well. Keep in mind that in case it shows custom links, then you always have the option to transform them. It's not necessary that you just have to add these individual blocks only. In case you have accidentally added a custom link, you can always convert it into a site logo, but make sure to check where it is linking. That is the important part here. Now that we are done till here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the settings of this block, then we'll move to the next topic. Now let's just select the navigation block over here. Now when you select the navigation block, the first option that you get is basically the layout. It gives you two options. Basically the justification and the orientation are the main ones, and allow to wrap to multiple lines is basically the option. If you have like 10 items on your navigation, then it will take the 11th into the next line. So basically what I'm trying, this is just an example. This is not a breakpoint or something like that. It's just like if you have like a small space and you can only add 5 items, then 6th will be automatically moved to the next line. So you always want to have this option enabled just in case. Now there are justification controls to help you align the menu items. So you get 4 options to choose from, which one is the justify items left, one is the center, the other one is the right, and the last one is the space between items. So space between is basically there will be some space between them, and there will be some space between these items. Now it's up to you how you are designing your site or template that you need to select these justification controls. The next option that you will come across is in the layout option is the orientation. Now you can align the navigation menu vertically or horizontally depending on your requirement. Now here is one interesting thing about navigation blocks. Now navigation block lets you add custom links to the menu, and using the vertical orientation and custom links, you can easily add a table of contents to your long articles on your site easily. You just need to add some IDs and link them appropriately, and it will work exactly like you want them to work. This is a very interesting thing, and towards the end of the video I will try to incorporate this into this video as well. Although this video is going to be a long one, but still, let's just do it. Why not? Now the next option that you will come across in the navigation block is the display option, and it has a very interesting option known as the overlay menu. Now, while browsing the internet, you must have come across several sites that display a menu in a different way on mobile devices and on desktop. Now basically in mobile devices the menu is hidden behind a hamburger icon or a burger icon, and on desktop it is just the regular menu. Now on mobile devices, when you click that burger icon, you will see that menu. WordPress has given you the power to create a responsive menu, basically a menu that hides behind the icon on mobile devices using this option. Now you get three options to choose from. One is the off, the second one is the mobile that is selected by default, and the third one is always. Now in case you are using this navigation block to create a table of contents, then in that case you probably do not need the display to be on mobile. You can always display it because it will be used as a block, and it will be vertically aligned. For sites that have long menus, this option is very necessary if you want to make them responsive, if you want to make the menus responsive for different screen sizes, if you want the menus to work correctly on different screen sizes. So what we are going to do here is, first let's just click preview over here and see just the mobile option. So you can see the desktop view has the regular menu. Now let's just go to the tablet view. Now in the tablet view, again you see the menu is the regular menu. It is not hiding behind the burger icon, but when we move to mobile, it changes to the burger icon. So let's just go back to desktop, and the menu is back to normal. Now we can click off over here and then head over to the mobile, and you will see the allow to wrap to multiple lines option comes into play, but the menu doesn't look like it's helping people. Basically it's not responsive. It is basically hampering the user experience. Now in case you select always, then your menu will always be hidden behind this burger icon. So let's just click this burger icon, and you see it opens the menu, and the cross icon is right over it. I can click it and it will get back to normal like this. Now some things are outright glitchy at this point of time because the site editor is still in beta, so that is why we're constantly emphasizing on the fact that you shouldn't be using these features on a live site. Basically you can use the navigation block but not the site editor that you start creating customized templates for yourself using this 2022 theme. We don't recommend doing that as of now. Now after the display settings of the navigation block, the next option that you will come across is the color, and using this option you will be able to change the color of the background, the menu items, the overlays, and the text. Now again you have a very similar color picker over here. You can pick custom colors through this. You can use the palette that you have defined. You can choose from default colors that are provided by the theme, or the color palette that the theme comes with. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. Using this option you can choose any colors or add any colors that you want to make your design look good. So after the color option, the last option is the typography. So in this option again you can change the size of the menu items, change the line height and stuff like that. Now it is important to know here that this is something that I'm going to cover later on when we will discuss typography in the block editor. So at times you will find certain typography settings hidden. You will not see them. This doesn't mean that you can't change them on per block basis. So this is the case here, and in case you want to change any other settings, then you got to click this plus icon and it will show you all the other settings. In case you want to change the font family, you can change from here. You can select the font family. It depends on you. In case you want to change the the font weight, then you can change it through this appearance menu over here. You can select whatever option is that you want. So basically this means whatever option that you want to configure, just have to click either the ellipse over here or the plus icon over here, and it will let you do that. It will show you the option that you can configure, but those options are hidden. So basically you can select those options and configure them later, and it will show them in this typography setting over here. So this is, pretty much all about the navigation block that I wanted to discuss. I will basically create a tutorial for you for TOC, which I will add at the end of this video. So make sure you watch till the end. And if you are liking the content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. So after the navigation block, the next block that I want to discuss is the site logo block. This is again another important block that I wanted to touch on. This is pretty simple block. It lets you add a logo, but it comes with a few options that you have to see. So let me just go ahead and add the site logo block. Now, before the release of WordPress 5.9, now WordPress did give you the option to upload a logo using the customizer. See the difference? Let's just first go to the WordPress 5.8 installation and see how you used to do it before this update. Now this is the WordPress 5.8 installation that we have. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click customize and open it in a new tab. Then I'm going to click the site identity option over here, and you can see it allows me to select a logo. Basically I can upload a new one or select an image from the media library, and the same is the case here in the site icon. Now the site icon is the icon that you see over here. Now this is the site icon. Basically it distinguishes your site from the other websites, if multiple tabs are open. So the user can easily identify, oh, this is the website that I want to go to. So now this has changed in WordPress 5.9, the method of adding logo, because the customizer is missing and it has been replaced by the new site editor. So the WordPress has given us a site logo block to do just that. Now in our homepage template, we already had the logo block added. I went ahead and added a logo to it. Now to add a logo, you just have to, add the logo block and then select a file from the media library or upload a file from your computer. Now it's up to you totally how you do it, and it will show up like this. Now, as far as the settings of the logo blocks is concerned, the first option that you get to see is this style. Now you can select either for it to be rounded or it to be the default style. It is totally up to you how you want to display your logo. At times you will see sites have a round logo, at times you will see websites have a square logo or a vertical logo or whatever logo. Now the next option that you will see is the settings. Now the first option in the settings is the image width. Now using this bar, you can increase or decrease the width of the logo. I will just go ahead and do it for you once. So using this option, you can basically change the image width, and whatever size fits well for your website, you can go ahead and select that. Next option is link image to home. Now if this option comes pre-enabled with the logo block, and what this option does is when anybody clicks on the logo on your website, it will automatically take them to the home page. Now on several websites you must have seen, when you click the logo of the website, it takes you to their home page. This option does just that. Now apart from this, there is another option which is open a new tab. In case you want the website to open in a new tab, then this is the option that you have to select. And if you want to use this logo as the site icon, then you can click enable this option and it will be used as the site icon, which is the fav icon, and it will be displayed over here. Now it's totally up to you what you want to do with this block. Now you can use the image block in pages and posts as well, and display your logo wherever you want to do on your site. Now apart from these settings, the toolbar has also received a few tweaks and introduction of few new image editing features. So for that you need to click crop over here, and it will show you three options. The first one is the zoom in, zoom out. In case you want to increase the zoom of your logo, or maybe your logo is too big and you want to zoom out, then this is the option for you. The next option is the aspect ratio. Now using this you can change the aspect ratio of your logo. The third option is the rotate, and using this you can rotate the logo to the direction that you want to. Now before WordPress 5.9, what you had to do was it was required that you upload a logo that was perfect in size. But this is not the case anymore, because you can use these options to basically tweak the size and make it perfect for the design that you are going for. Now apart from this, another option that you will see is the duotone filter. Now this is the option. Now using this option, you can add shadows and highlights basically to the logo. It's basically a two-tone color that you can add with just a few clicks, and it doesn't impact the integrity of the logo. Your logo stays the same, it just adds a filter to it. So this is another interesting option if you want to add the two-tone color effect on your logo without losing the integrity of the image. Now this concludes everything that you need to know about the full site editing that has been introduced in WordPress 5.8 update, and two major blocks, basically the navigation and the logo block, and what you can do with those blocks. So in case you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and make sure you like and subscribe this video. The next topic that we will be discussing is the general changes to the block editor. We will be adding a post, and we will be seeing what are the changes that you can experience in the new block editor and the blocks itself. So let's just go ahead and add two new posts, one in the WordPress 5.9 installation and one in the WordPress 5.8 installation, and go ahead and take a look at some of the general changes first, and then we are going to take a look at more granular changes which are to individual blocks. So I just went ahead and I've added two new posts, one in the WordPress 5.9 installation that you can see over here, which is the tab number 1, and second one in the WordPress 5.8.3 installation, which is the tab number 2 over here. Now we will be using both of these tabs as for the comparison purposes, just to see what are the changes, how you used to do things in 5.8.3 and how things have changed in 5.9. Now another thing that I want to tell you before we dive into these changes is that the theme that I'm currently using is the 2021 theme. Now because that theme came in the WordPress 5.8 update, so I was like, why not make the environments completely same or similar, and then we'll go ahead and see the changes. Now in this section we will be taking a look at the general changes first. By general changes I mean the changes that impact multiple blocks, and then we will be taking a look at the individual block level changes. I will be covering everything, almost everything I have covered in this video, so this is going to be a long video, so bear with me, and let's just dive into the first change, that is the change to the color picker that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9. The UI has changed, the way things work, and the color picker has slightly changed. So I have added a paragraph block over here to just test these changes, and you can click on this section over here and it will open the settings. Now the first things that you're going to notice is that the color picker has definitely changed. Now it is important to know here that if I would have been using the 2022 theme, then you would have seen the default colors just below the theme colors and the palette that I've selected just below that. Now we have discussed these changes while we were on the topic of site editor, so in case you want to reference it over there, you can go back and see and then come back to these sections. So what I'm going to tell you here is that the UI first of all has changed, this color picker has changed, and for this let's just go to the WordPress 5.8 installation and see. Now you can see the UI here is very different. In case you wanted to pick the custom color, then you had to click this option and it would have shown you the color picker. Now here the option is available right in front of you. This is the new color picker. You gotta just click it and it will show you. So for example, if I just want to make the text color red, that's what I'm gonna do here. And what it does is it displays this hex value over here. So I already know what is the color value, what is the basically color code of the color that I'm using that I'm using as the text color basically. Now in case you want to copy this option, then you just have to click it and it will get copied. Now this was not the case here. Now let's just see it for ourselves. Let's just select this blue color over here. To copy this color, what I had to do was I had to click this, select it, and then press copy, Control C or Command C depending on the OS that you are using. Now if I have to change the format of the colors, then what I have to do here is that I have to click this option over here and it gives me a drop down. The formats that you can select is the RGB, HSL or hex. I personally prefer hacks because those are, easy to use, and most places, you will find the hex value, although you find the HSL values and RGB values as well, but I personally prefer hex. Now to make any of those changes over here, you had to click this icon over here, and when you click it, it will change it to RGB, then HSL. Now this was a bit of a hassle in my opinion. The UI is more clear now. The experience is much better when it comes to, picking colors. So this change will be impacting any and every blog that is using the color options. Maybe they may be using just for the background color, maybe just for the text color, maybe for the link color. Anywhere that you will see the option to pick colors, the color picker will be this one, the new one. So this is the first change. The second change that we are going to take a look at is the typography options. Now we have discussed about the typography options again before in the new site editor while we were talking about it, like how you can add more options and how you can configure it. Now the thing here is that the same options are available on block level basis as well. So in case you want to make this paragraph size a little bit bigger, then you can select the font size from here. Okay, in case you want to change the add a custom value, then you can click over here and add the custom value. Now you may be thinking some of the options are missing from this, which were the line height, the letter cases, the letter spacing. So you can select them by clicking the plus icon over here or the ellipsis icon that appears after you are done selecting this. So with that, every option will start appearing over here and you can set them easily. Now it is important to know here that certain blocks do come with certain options that are pre-available to you, and in certain blocks you will have to add these values. So for example, in paragraph I had to select these values from the plus icon or the ellipsis menu, but this is not the case with the heading block actually. So you will see the letter case and the appearance appears directly. I haven't selected it, but the line height option is missing. So I will go here and I will select line height, and line height will appear over here. In case I want to, select letter spacing, the letter spacing can be here. This is basically the typography changes. So just for the reference of things, let's just go to 5.8 and see these changes. So this is the 5.8. Let's just close this thing now. Okay, so you will see this is just a basic menu. In case you want to select predefined font size, then you had this drop down and you could select, but you don't know about the values, like extra small is what font size, small is what font size. Okay, so that is after you are selecting, then you find the value over here. But in the other case, it's in WordPress 5.9 it's predefined, it will be written right in front of it. So that makes things much more easier. Then a lot of these options, like the letter cases, the appearance is missing from this menu. So that is an addition to the typography settings for certain blocks. So you will find these changes in almost every block that uses the typography settings. Okay, anywhere where you can add a bit of text, you will see the changes. Okay, you will see the new typography menu. So keep in mind how you have to use them. These are amazing options that WordPress is providing you with, and using these you can change the font sizes or style the fonts depending on how you need them to be. So the next change that we are going to discuss is the duotone effect that has been introduced in several of the media blocks. So these blocks include the site logo block, the featured image block, and the post author block. So what we are going to do here is I'm going to add a site logo block over here. I'm going to select the logo from the media library that I've already uploaded, and then I'm going to click this option, the duotone option. And just with a click I can add a filter. In case I have to select the colors, I have the requirements to select the color, then I can go ahead and make these changes from here. I can select the color based on my requirements, just go on and pick whatever color is that I want as per my requirements, and that's done. It's selected for the shadows, it's selected for the highlights. I can click the highlights here and I can select another option. So just to see this change, what we are going to do here is I'm going to go to 5.8.3. I'm going to see if the site logo block came with this option. I'm going to go to media library. I just don't have a logo here uploaded, but you can see there is no duotone option over here. So that is the change that you will see. So this change again has been introduced in the featured image block, the site logo block, and in the post author block. And with just one click you can add duotone filter. And one thing that you have to keep in mind here is that this change doesn't impact the integrity of the image. The image remains the same, it's just the filter on top. So you don't have to worry about the image like it will damage your logo or something like that. No, your logo is going to remain the same. You can remove it later. So after the duotone effect, the next topic that we are going to discuss is the layout control that has been introduced in the button in the settings of various blocks. And the blocks that are being impacted by this is the navigation block, the social icons block, and the button block. Okay, so you will find this option on all three of them. So I just went ahead and added, the button block on both WordPress 5.9 and 5.8 over here. So let's just start off with WordPress 5.8 and see what are the layout options available. So when you click this option and select the button block, you see all of the options over here, okay, in the toolbar, but there are no options in the block settings. Now this has changed because the layout options has been introduced in the settings as well. So you can see here, I can select the button block and I can change the justification from here. But it gives me an additional option to change the orientation from here. And if I want to, change the justification as well, I get the option under the layout settings. So this is one change that you will see in the button block or in the social icons block or in the navigation block. Now the another thing that you will see is that there has been changes to the border settings, where now you can unlink the border radius from each other. You can go here and click this option and you can set the border radiuses depending on for various sites depending on your requirement. This will help you create interesting eye-catchy buttons in WordPress without having to install any other plugin. Now let's just go to WordPress 5.3 and see it for ourselves. So in the border settings, you will see there is no option to unlink basically. Okay, so the only sort of button that you could create was a pill-shaped button or slightly rounded edges of the button. But now you have more control over how the radius is added to the buttons. Now another change that you will notice here is that there is no option to select the units that you want to use. But here you will get the option to choose from, the percentages, the EMs, the rem, the view width, the view height. Whatever is your requirement, you can just go ahead and select that unit and use the values accordingly. So that is one change. And this is an interesting change, I would say, because before this update I was mostly like I've been using WordPress for a very long time and I wasn't very keen on using the buttons from WordPress, but now I think we can do a lot more things. So after the changes to the button block, the next topic that we are going to discuss is the introduction of / block insertion in the list, heading, and quote blocks. So if you have been using WordPress, then you must be familiar with the fact that WordPress allows you to add blocks using the / inserter. Let me go back to the WordPress 5.8 tab and show you how it's done. So this is the WordPress 5.8 tab, and in case I want to add the heading tag, either I can use this inserter button over here, or I can just type in the / and then type in heading, and it just shows me the blocks that I could add. So this feature was limited to paragraph blocks till the WordPress 5.8, but it has been extended to the heading and the quotes block and the list block as well. So what we are going to do here is I'm going to go back to WordPress 5.9. I'm going to add a heading block first, and then I'm going to try the / inserter over here. So what we are going to do here is I'm going to add an image block using the heading block. So / and you can see as soon as I type in the first 3 letters, it shows me the image block right on top. So I can click here and I can add it. Now this is not the case in WordPress 5.8. Now I will go back to WordPress 5.8 and add the heading block, and then I'll try the / inserter and will try to insert the image block. You can see it shows nothing pops up. It will not add the block. So this is the new change in WordPress 5.9, where the / block insertion has been introduced in the list block, the heading block, and the code block. So let's just add a list block as well and try it out on the list block as well. Let's just add a heading through the list block. You can see it lets me add a heading. Let's just add a heading block and try to convert it into a quote block. So you can see, now let's just turn this quote block into a list block. You can see, so as you can see, this feature was not available in the WordPress 5.8, but now it has been introduced in WordPress 5.9. Now after the / insertion, the next topic that we are going to cover is the changes to the remove block label. Now in WordPress 5.8, if you were to remove any block, you had to click this ellipsis menu over here, and then it showed you the option to remove the block, which was just named as remove block. Basically, it didn't tell you which block you were removing. It just showed you the option to remove it, that you are removing some block. Now this label has been updated in WordPress 5.9, and now it shows you the name of the block that you are going to remove. So for example, if I'm going to remove the list block, it will show me list over here. Okay, so if I'm going to remove the heading block, it will show me remove heading over here. If I'm going to remove the image block, it will show me remove image over here. And this was not the case in WordPress 5.8, where it just showed you the remove block label. So this is another improvement that you can say this is another improvement, as you know, now you will exactly know which block you're going to delete, and accidentally you're not going to remove another block. Now the next topic that we are going to discuss in this video is the introduction of the highlight feature, or the introduction of the color support for the highlight feature. Now why two different things? Now some themes in WordPress did come with the highlight feature for text blocks, where you were able to highlight certain parts of your text or just individual words with just a click. You just had to click the drop down in the toolbar, and it allowed you to do that. But in certain themes this feature was disabled, or it came with the name of text color. Now I wouldn't call text color the highlight feature, as it required you to add the background, change the background color, or probably if you want a proper highlight, then you had to edit the code or use a plugin. Let me show you the difference first. So let's go to WordPress 5.8 and see the text color feature first. So let me just select this highlight color and then click this drop down, and you will see there is a text color feature, and when I click it, it allows me to select a color or a custom color. Now I wouldn't call it literally the highlight feature, as to make a proper highlight I'll have to edit the code and then add the appropriate tags. Now in WordPress 5.9 this thing has changed, and the text color feature has been replaced, or you can say it has been evolved. Now see how. Let me click this, let me select this word highlight over here. And when I select this, click the drop down, it will show me the highlight feature. Let me click this, and now it allows me to, select a background, basically the text color. So let's just select this as the text color, and let's go to background and select black as the text. Now you can see clearly the word highlight is clearly highlighted. Let's just say that. Okay, but this was not the case here, because let's just change the color to something. Let's just take it to blue. Yeah, and you can see just the word is the color of that particular word is changed. You cannot call it basically the highlight feature, but certain themes did offer the highlight feature, but the default highlight color was yellow. Now in this situation, this thing has been implemented, and the color support has been added. If you already have been using the highlight feature, I was using it in Cadence, so I can tell you that. Now in case you want to change colors, then again you get access to this color picker over here, and using it you can select whatever color is that you want to select. Let's go here and pick this color, and you can see the color of the text change. Now in case you want to change the color of the background, you can again click the color picker over here and take this background over here, and you will see the change. So this is an interesting feature, and you must have seen various websites using this feature very creatively to highlight the important parts on their landing pages or pages in itself, just to draw the attention of the people to that particular section. So you can use it for that, and WordPress has given you a very easy way in which you can just with a few clicks you can transform a certain thing into that eye-catchy headline or something. So this is really an amazing feature. The next change after the highlight feature that we are going to discuss is the preview for the audio block. For this, let's just click on the block inserter in WordPress 5.8.3 first and search for the audio block. And when I hover my mouse pointer over it, it shows there is no preview available. You can see that. In WordPress 5.9, this has changed as the preview has now been included. So let's just click and search for the audio block. And when I now hover my mouse pointer over it, you will see a preview has been included. You will now know how it looks, how the the audio that you want to embed will look on the front end basically. Now after the audio block, the next topic that we are going to discuss is the change to the heading level menu in the headings block. Now heading block is one of the most commonly used block, and you must be familiar with the fact that you can change the heading levels by just selecting the block, and in the toolbar you will get the menu using which you can select the level of the headings from H1 till H6. Now I am on WordPress 5.8 as of now, on the WordPress 5.8 tab as of now, and let's just select this heading block, and you will see the heading level menu is currently in the horizontal format, and it has this scroll bar at the bottom. Now this makes it look quite clunky in my opinion, and this has changed in WordPress 5.9 where the headings level menu is now vertical. Now it looks much more cleaner, and you now know there exists H5 and H6 as well. So that's one good addition, that's one good change to the headings menu. Now after the changes to the headings level menu, the next topic that we are going to discuss is the introduction of the drag and drop image replacement in media and text block. Now in WordPress 5.8, WordPress did not allow you to basically replace the images in a media and text block using drag and drop, and in WordPress 5.9 this has changed. So let's just go to WordPress 5.8 for once and see what happened if you dragged and dropped an image on a media and text block first. Now I've added two very similar media and text block in both the installations. You can see here and you can see here. This is the WordPress 5.9 and this is the WordPress 5.8. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna drag and drop an image onto this image, and you will see what happens when we do that. So this is the new logo that we have been working on. Now let me just drag and drop over here, and it creates a new image block for itself. It does not replace the image, it basically creates a new image block for itself. Now let's just go to WordPress 5.9 and see if it helps. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna again, you see how it changes, and now when I upload the file it replaces it. Now in case you are thinking where this file lands, then let me tell you, the file gets directly uploaded to the media library. You can see there are two logos, one that I uploaded before and one is this one. You can see the name here, one, and this is the final. So basically what happens here is when you drag and drop an image, it automatically uploads into the WordPress media library. So you have to be very careful when doing this. The first reason behind this is do not upload any unoptimized images. By unoptimized images, I mean the images that are not carefully sized. You do not want to upload heavy images because that will impact the page speed of your site. So in case you are looking for a plugin to help you with the page speed, then link to that will be in the description box below. I suggest using Optimole for that. Now the next topic that we are going to cover in this video is the introduction of the new Pinterest block in WordPress 5.9. Now before this update, there was no way to basically embed Pinterest pins, groups or your profile in your WordPress site, but this has changed now, as you know, Pinterest is now the trusted embed provider for WordPress, and a new block for this purpose has been introduced. Let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and search for the Pinterest block first and see if it existed. You can see there is no default block that exists for Pinterest. Okay, let's just say there is no block by WordPress that exists for embedding Pinterest URLs. And this has changed in WordPress 5.9, and now there is a Pinterest block available. Now using it, you can embed your profile, you can embed your pins, you can embed your groups in your WordPress website. So let's just embed the profile first and see. This is my profile. In case you want to follow, you can follow me here. I'll drop the link down in the description box below. Also, if you're finding the content helpful, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. So you can see this is the profile basically that has been embedded. Okay, now let's just embed a single pin. Let's just copy this URL and go down here, paste and click embed. You will see the pin has been embedded. Now let's just embed a whole group board. Let's just embed deals and discounts. And there you have it. Now you no longer have to think about how you can embed your pins or groups in your WordPress site. This block gives you a very easy way to do this. Now after the new Pinterest block, the next topic that we are going to discuss is the introduction of the alt text in the cover block. Now before WordPress 5.9 update, to add alt text to images in cover block, you had to go to the media library because there was no option available in the block settings. Now let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and see it for ourselves. Now there is no option available, you can see in the block settings here. So to add alt text, what you had to do was you had to go to the media library and then add it over here. Now this makes the process a bit lengthy, and this has changed in WordPress 5.9. Now what you can do is you can upload the image and add the alt text right over here. This is the place. This is where you add alt text. So this is the new option that has been introduced. So the next topic in this video that we are going to discuss is the introduction of the color support for the button in the search block. Until WordPress 5.8, WordPress did not allow you to change the color of the text or the background of the button in the search block. Let's just select the button in the search block and see it for ourselves. You see there is no options to change the color. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9, and now it allows you to select a color depending on your requirement. You can change both the text color and the background color. Let's just change the text color to something like this and the background color to something like this, and you can see it changes the color of the button basically. So you can using this you can customize the button as per your requirements. So after this, the next topic we are going to discuss is the stack on mobile option for columns. Now if you have been using the blocks that are column based, then you must be familiar with the fact that these blocks come with an option to stack on mobile pre-enabled. Now here is the media and text block that I have added in WordPress 5.3, and you can see it comes with a stack on mobile option. But the thing here is that before WordPress 5.9, the columns did not offer this, did not come with this option at all. So let me just select the column block over here. And you can see it only gives me the option to increase or decrease the number of columns, but the option to stack on mobile is missing. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9, and now you get the option to stack on mobile. This option comes pre-enabled and you can disable it as per your requirements. This is an amazing option that lets you create responsive columns in WordPress with just a few clicks. Now after the columns block, the next change that we are going to discuss has been introduced in the gallery blocks. Now this is a major change, as gallery block, which is a collection of images, is now a collection of image blocks. Now to see the difference, let's just go to WordPress 5.8 installation for once and see it for ourselves. Now here I've created a very similar gallery block that was in the WordPress 5.8 installation that you were seeing. So you can see that when I select an image, it only gives me a few options, where one of the options is to link this image to, basically I can redirect this image, or when somebody clicks on this image, it will take you to that page or media file or whatever. Okay, rest there are no changes. Basically if I want to style these images, I can do nothing basically. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9, because now gallery block is basically a collection of image blocks, so you can do a lot more. Let's just select an image and see it for ourselves. Now let me select this image. Now as soon as I select the image, the first difference that you will notice is that it is the gallery block, plus the toolbar for the image block can be seen here. This is the gallery block icon, this is the image block icon. Basically this is an image block. A gallery block is now a collection of image blocks rather than just images. Now in case I want to style this image to be rounded, this can be rounded. If I want to style this image to have borders, this can have borders. If I want this image to have a frame, this can have a frame. If I want this image to be rounded, this can be rounded. Okay, so this is basically the change that has been introduced. Now this is a major change, and in case you have been using gallery blocks prior to WordPress 5.9, then it is important to know that your old gallery blocks will be automatically converted to the new gallery blocks. You don't have to worry about the change as of now. Also, it is important to know that any changes from now on that will be implemented in the image block will be reflected on the gallery blocks automatically. Okay, so you have to keep in mind here that if tomorrow they introduce a new style in the image block, that style will automatically be listed here. The changes will be automatically be reflected in the gallery blocks as well. Now the next change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9 is for the tag cloud block. Basically using this block you can display cloud of your taxonomies in the front end, be it the categories or tags. For WordPress 5.9, this block did not come with the feature that gave you control over the number of tags that you wanted to display, but in WordPress 5.9 this has changed. Now to show this difference, I went ahead and I've created 5 tags in WordPress 5.9, assigned a post, created similar 5 tags in WordPress 5.8, assigned a post. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to WordPress 5.8 and create a tag and add the tag cloud block. Now you can see as soon as I add the block, it displays the tags, but the thing here is that it does not allow me to control the number of tags that I want to display. Probably I want to display only 3 tags. Okay, so that is the option that is not available at the moment in WordPress 5.3. Now let me just go ahead in WordPress 5.9 and add the tag cloud block. Now you can see it again displays the tag instantly when I add the block, but it gives me this new option where I can control how many tags that I want to display on the front end. By default the value is set to 45. Now I can reduce it to, let's just say, 4 if I just wanted to display 4 tags. You can see the tag number 5 is already gone. There are only 4 tags that are that will be displayed on the front end. This is a change that has been introduced. After the tag cloud block, the next change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9 is for the reusable blocks. Now for demonstration purposes, I just went ahead and I've created reusable blocks in both WordPress 5.8 and WordPress 5.9. Here is the WordPress 5.9 and here is the WordPress 5.8. So let's just see the reusable block in WordPress 5.8 and see the icon that is being used. You can see the icon is something like a plug over here. Okay, now in WordPress 5.9 this icon has been changed to this. Okay, this is the first change. The next change that you will see is that when you will hover your pointer over the reusable block like this, it will give a dark overlay showing you that it's a reusable block. Now this is the case in template parts as well. If you are using the site editor to create template parts, this is what will happen as well. The template parts will also show an overlay. Here, let me go to WordPress 5.8 and will show. You can see there is no overlay, but when you hover your mouse over the reusable blocks in WordPress 5.9, it shows an overlay like this. So these are the two changes that has been introduced for the reusable blocks in WordPress 5.9. Now in case you do not know how to create reusable blocks, then I will be creating tutorials for everything from basics to everything. So make sure you like this video if you're finding it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now the next change that you will see in the reusable blocks is the introduction of the change to regular blocks option in the ellipsis menu. Now before WordPress 5.9 this feature wasn't available in the ellipsis menu, it was just present on the toolbar. So let's just see it for ourselves. So here in the WordPress 5.8 you can see that as soon as I select the reusable block logo, you see this option over here, the convert to regular blocks option, but this option is missing from this ellipsis menu. Now this option has been added to this menu over here as well in WordPress 5.9. Let's just go to WordPress 5.9 and see it for ourselves. Let's just select. So you see convert to regular blocks option over here, and when I click the ellipsis menu, the option is available over here as well. So this is another change. So in case now you're looking to convert any of the reusable blocks into regular blocks, you can do it via two ways. One is through the toolbar, the other one is through the ellipsis menu. So the next change that we are going to discuss is a minor change that has been introduced in the image block, and that is when you transform it into a file block. Now what happened before WordPress 5.9 was when you converted an image block into a file block and it did not have a caption attached to it, the placeholder stayed empty. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9. Now to show you the difference, what I have done is I have created a very similar setup where I have two images, basically two Blogging Unplugged logos on both the setups, WordPress 5.9 and WordPress 5.8, and the first image does not have the caption while the second image does have the caption. Okay, so let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and convert it into a file block first. So now what happens is when I convert this image into a file block, the default placeholder text will remain empty. So let me just convert it. You can see the default placeholder text basically remains empty, so you probably have to add it over here. Let me just add it. Logo. Now what happens when I will convert this? It basically takes up the caption as the default placeholder text, and yes, it can be updated once you click it. Let me convert it. File. You can see this is the difference. Basically it automatically takes up the caption name as the default placeholder text. Now you can click it over here and change it to whatever is that you want to change it to. Now in WordPress 5.9 this behavior has changed. Now in case the image has the caption, then the behavior remains the same. It takes up the caption as the default placeholder text. However, in case the caption is missing, then it will take up the image name as the default placeholder text. Let's just convert the first image and see it for ourselves. You can see it took up the image name as the default placeholder text. Yes, this can be changed. You can always change it, and let's just for once convert the other image as well. And you can see the caption becomes the default placeholder text. So this is the change that has been introduced in the image block in WordPress 5.9. Now after this minor update to the image block transformation, the next new feature we are going to discuss is the ability to create new pages from the link pop-up. Now we all are familiar with, internal linking and adding links to text on our pages and posts, and you can easily do that by, selecting the text over here, clicking this link icon, and then searching for, the term or adding the URL directly, and then clicking this icon over here. Now this link pop-up does not give you the option to show to create a new page basically before WordPress 5.9. Now this has changed. This new feature has been added, and to see the difference, let's just go to WordPress 5.8 installation and see. Let me just select this printing and text and search for a page named about. Now it shows me that there is a sample page, but there is no about page, and there is no option to create an about page over here. Now in WordPress 5.9, if you search for something that is missing, it will show you the option to create it. So let me just go to WordPress 5.9 here, and let me just search for cars. I know I haven't created a page named cars over here in this setup. So let me just search for cars, and let me see what it shows me. It basically gives me an option to create a page. Now when I click this option, it adds a link. Now this link basically corresponds to an ID, this page ID, that has already been created in drafts. So let me just go to drafts and see it for ourselves. Now this cars page has already been created. Okay, so the thing here is that when I will edit this page, it will create a slug for it. Let's just click. It has assigned a slug for it, that is the title, and this is the general WordPress behavior. Now here's what happens when I publish it. Now when I will publish it, it will have the slug as car, which I can visit by using this. Okay, you can see the slug is cars. Now here the slug remains the ID. So this is one of the problems that I've seen with this feature. So once you have published any of the posts, what you will have to do is you will have to come back to the post where you have added this link, or through which you have created this page, and you will have to replace the URL over here. So this is one thing that I wanted to point out in this service. The second thing that I want to point out is I am currently in post. What happens if I want to add a post? I'm searching for a post for internal linking, and I would like to create that post using this feature. Now that is not possible. You can only create pages using this. So the next improvement that we are going to discuss in this video is introduced in the list view in WordPress 5.9, and there are quite a few changes that has been introduced in list view, and you will probably be liking them. So let's just go to the WordPress 5.8 setup once and see the list view that you used to get, and then we will be comparing it to the list view that you are seeing in WordPress 5.9 if you've updated. So you can see I have created two similar setups. Let me close this. I have created two similar setups over here, and it's almost the same thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click here. This is the list view over here, and you can see it's a pretty simple list view. It doesn't come with any options. You can just select it and it will take you to that block. Okay, and nothing very fancy about it. It's just very simple. There are no features. You cannot drag and drop this and that. Now you do see one thing that you will see is I have added an HTML anchor to this image block over here in the advanced settings that you see right over here, and that HTML anchor displays over here. Okay, so this is one thing that you will see. Now this list view has received quite a few improvements in WordPress 5.9, and one of them being the container blocks come with the option of expand and collapse. Now let's go to WordPress 5.9, click the list view and see it for ourselves. So this is a container block, media and text block. It comes with this icon, chevron icon, and you can click it and it will collapse. There's a group block again. It is a container block. You can click it and it will collapse. Expand it, click, it will expand. Now this is one thing that is different from WordPress 5.8 in WordPress 5.9. Now the next thing that you will see is that the headings have HTML anchors that have been automatically generated by WordPress. Now see here, this is a heading and it automatically has an anchor over here that I haven't created. Now this will make your life so much easier when you are basically creating tables of content. You can use these HTML anchors as IDs, and basically these are IDs, and you can use these anchors as IDs in your table of contents basically. Okay, so you don't have to create HTML anchors again and again. Another thing that you will see is that there is an ellipse icon over here. Okay, now this ellipse menu will give you the same options that you will see in the ellipse menu of a heading block. Let me click this ellipsis menu. Now you will see all of the same options. Let me click this ellipsis menu. You will see all of the same options. Now this menu is missing from the list view in WordPress 5.8. Let's just see it for ourselves. Now you can see there is no ellipsis menu and there is no anchor. Okay, so this is another change that you will see. Now the next major change that you will see is that you can basically drag and drop blocks as per your requirements using the list view now. So in case I want to place this group block over the image block, what I can do is I can just drag and drop it from here to here, and you will see it changed its position. This is the group block. This is the group block. Now this is the image block. Now in case I want to take this block down to the bottom, what I can see is I can just click. Sorry, it didn't go. Now it will. Now it is not. Now it is. Okay, now you can see it's glitching a bit, but you understand the concept of things. Basically it will you are able to drag and drop using the list view, which is missing from here. Now you cannot drag and drop blocks in the list view in WordPress 5.8. so this is another thing that you will see. Now in case you want to change the anchors for the automatically generated for headings, you can easily do that by clicking over here, list view to, you can add so the changes will be reflected over here. Now it is important to know here that you cannot remove these anchors completely. You cannot remove these anchors. These headings cannot be anchorless as of now. So you have to keep in mind that every heading that you will create will have an anchor that cannot be deleted but can be edited or modified as per your requirements. This is another thing. Now also just like in WordPress 5.8, to any of the blocks that you will add, anchors will be displayed over here. Okay, so this is another thing that I wanted to discuss. Now while we are on the topic of drag and drop, the next change that we are going to discuss is the changes to the animation for the insertions and the drop zones in the Gutenberg editor. Now before WordPress 5.9, the animations weren't that prominent. Basically they were very subtle. Like for example, if I want to insert a block in between two blocks, you can see how thin the separation line is and how how small the icon looks. Basically it's very subtle. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9. Now we will be discussing this in three parts. One is by seeing this insertion line in between two blocks. Then we will be rearranging blocks and seeing the animations for that. After that we will be drag and dropping media onto a media area, and we'll see the change for the animation. The first part is seeing the insertion line. You can see right over here, I bring my cursor over here, it shows me a decent animation which is very subtle. I don't know, I can skip this, I can miss this insertion anytime, this separation line, because that is too thin. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9. see it for yourself. Now let me just click. The animation basically is the block inserter appears first and it's very prominent, followed up by the insertion line animation. Okay, so this is the first change. It is very prominent and you cannot miss this thing. The second change is the drag and drop, is the rearranging of blocks. Let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and see it for ourselves. Let me just select this block. Let me just drag it right below this, Okay, you can see the insertion line is not that prominent. I can drop it over here and that's it. I do see it, but it can be missed. It's not that prominent. Now let's just go to 5.9 and see how prominent the line is. Now you exactly know where to drop it. That's it. The third change is to the when you add media to your to the media blocks. Basically it will show an animation in WordPress 5.9 while it is missing in WordPress 5.8. Let me just go to WordPress 5.8 and add a media. So I'm going to add this logo onto the media area here. You can see no animation. Let me take it back. No animation, just a blue color, a blue overlay appears that shows you drop the file over there. Now let me just change the tabs and go to WordPress 5.9 and let's just see. You see the insertion, how it zooms out basically. See it for yourself again. Now you know that you are basically dropping it in some media area. It's just not an overlay, it's an animation. Okay, so this is the change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9 for the animations, for the insertion lines and drop zones. This change will make your life so much easier when you are adding blocks in between blocks, or you are rearranging blocks, or you are adding media. This is a good change basically. Now after the changes to the animation, the next big change we are going to discuss is the improvements to the patterns inserter. Now if you have been using WordPress, then you must be familiar with the fact that WordPress lets you add patterns from the block inserter. There is a section that lets you add patterns which is right next to the list of blocks that you see when you click the inserter over here. You can see that the patterns is over here. Now generally the patterns included are from the theme that you are using. So if you're using the 2021 theme, then the patterns will show you all of the 2021 patterns that are included with the theme. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9 as WordPress has released a new patterns directory. Now I will leave the link to the patterns directory in the description box below, so you can check it out for yourself. And in WordPress 5.9, that pattern directory has been connected to the pattern section in the block inserter. So let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and see how it originally was and what the change is. We will see in the WordPress 5.9. So this is the WordPress 5.8. Let's just go to patterns over here, and you can see it just displays the pattern for different sections, columns, buttons, this and that, for the 2021 theme basically. Now in WordPress 5.9 this has changed. You can see here. Now there is a new featured section that basically connects the pattern library to the patterns in the block inserter. Additionally, there is an explore button. This is a new explore button. You can see right over here. The button is missing. This is the new explore button. And when you click this button, it will open a full screen pattern library. Now from here, you can click and insert any of the patterns that you want to add to your page or post or whatever that is. Now there are beautiful patterns available in this library. I will recommend you check this out. I've left the link in the description again. Now after the improvements to the pattern inserter in WordPress 5.9, the next minor change that you will see has been introduced to the breadcrumbs of the block editor. Now in WordPress 5.8, the breadcrumbs used an arrow icon, and in WordPress 5.9 it uses a chevron. Now you can see the breadcrumbs right over here. In WordPress 5.9 it uses a chevron, and in WordPress 5.8 it uses an arrow. So this is another small change that you will see. Now the next change that we are going to discuss in this video is introduced in the ellipsis menu of the block editor, which is right over here. And in this, the block manager option has been moved to the preferences modal. Now for this, let's just go to WordPress 5.8 and see it for ourselves. Now let me just click this ellipsis menu over here, and you will see the block manager option is over here. Now in case you're not familiar with this option, then let me tell you, it using this, basically you can select which blocks you want to display in the block inserter, which is this one over here. In case you are not using certain blocks, you can basically disable it from appearing over there. So this block manager option has been moved to the preferences mode. So let's just go to WordPress 5.9, click the ellipsis menu, go to preferences, and there is the block manager. Okay, so using this option you can basically see, you can basically disable or enable blocks depending on your requirement, what blocks you want to use on the pages or posts. So this option has been moved from the ellipsis menu, the main ellipsis menu, to the preferences mode. Now after this, the next change that we are going to discuss has been introduced to the publishing flow in the WordPress 5.9, and that is when you hit the publish button. Now in WordPress 5.8, when you hit the publish button, you got the option to copy the link to view the post. But in WordPress 5.9, a new button for creating a new post has been introduced. So let's just go to first WordPress 5.8, publish this post, and see it for ourselves what happens. You can see view post and copy link are two buttons that you can see with the link to the post on top. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9, as when I hit publish, click publish over here, and it gives you the option to add a new post. Now when I'll click this button, it will take me it will automatically create a new post in a new tab. Now it is important to know here that basically if you are on pages, if you have published a page and you want to create a new page, then you can click this button and it will create a new page. It will not create a post. So basically through posts you will be able to create posts, and through pages you will be able to create pages only. The rest, the copy button has been moved on top. So using this button you can copy the link. So this concludes everything that you need to know about changes to the Gutenberg editor in general, or overall changes in WordPress 5.9. The next topic that we are going to discuss is the changes to the bundle themes that have been introduced in WordPress 5.9. Now in this video we are going to discuss only 3 changes that have been introduced to the bundle themes in WordPress 5.9. Now the bundle themes are basically the themes that comes with the WordPress installation. These are basically default WordPress themes. We are only going to discuss 3 changes, and the first change that we are going to discuss is the changes to the comment form for the logged in user. This change has been introduced in the 2019 theme and the 2021 theme. So we already have the 2021 theme installed on both WordPress 5.8 installation and WordPress 5.9 installation, and let's just see the changes. Now in WordPress 5.8, the comment section for a logged in user looks something like this. You can see I am logged in, and in WordPress 5.9 this has changed. Okay, the first thing that you will notice is that there are 2 links. One is for the logged in as, and the second one is to log out. After that there is a message that tells you this field, the comment field, is required. Okay, and then there is an asterisk sign on top of it. Now this is the first change, and you can clearly see these things are not over here. So this is the first change that you will see in both 2019 and 2021 theme. Now the next change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9 is for the privacy policy page. Now before WordPress 5.9, when you set a page as the privacy policy for your website, it didn't display in the footer. It wasn't basically showing up automatically in the footer. Now this has changed in WordPress 5.9. So what I'm going to do here is I have created 2 privacy policy page, and these are the default privacy policy page that comes with the WordPress installation. So I have published those pages, and I've set one in WordPress 5.8, and I've set the second one in WordPress 5.9. I'll show you the difference. So here is the WordPress 5.8 tab. I'll go ahead and I'll click use this page. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this tab, which is the WordPress 5.8 tab, and you will see that there is no privacy policy page being linked through the footer. Now this is not the case in WordPress 5.9. This has changed basically. Now you will see basically a page will appear over here. I'll go here, I'll click use this page. You can see it has been automatically been applied. and you will see the privacy policy page over here. So this is another change. Now the last change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9 for the bundled themes is the support for the w8.me links. Now this is for the 2020 and 2017 themes. Now before WordPress 5.9, if you used w8.me links, then WhatsApp icon didn't used to appear. Now but this has changed in WordPress 5.9. And to demonstrate this, what I have done is I have installed the 2020 theme, and then I am in the customizer. So here I'll have to create a new menu, and then we'll go ahead and see the change. So for creating a new menu, what I'll do is I'll click menus, I'll see view all locations. I'm going to create a new menu over here, select the social menu location, and I'm going to name it social as well. You can name it whatever is that you want to do, but I'll be naming it social just for these purposes. Then I'm going to click add items. I'm going to click search, add the link here. Link text. I'm going to add just W over here for reference, and I'm going to click add to menu. Click publish. Now what you will see here is the WhatsApp icon. Now this is the change that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9. Now that when you will use w8.me links for WhatsApp, it will show you the WhatsApp icon. Okay, so this is the change. Now the last topic that we are going to discuss in this video is a new feature that has been introduced in WordPress 5.9, and that is the new language switcher on login, registration, and reset password pages. So if you have multiple language packs installed on your website, then you will see a drop down that allows you or the users to select a preferred languages when basically logging in or registering or resetting a password. Okay, now this feature can be disabled completely, and the code snippet for that is in the article that we have written on WordPress 5.9. So the link to that article is in the description box below. You can check it out in case you want to disable this feature. Now to show you this change or to demonstrate it to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install another language. Basically I'm going to install Hindi language that I know, and then I'm going to log out and we'll show you the language switcher. So I'm going to go here and search for Hindi. Basically it's right here, and I'm going to click save changes. And this can take a second. Okay, now you can see everything has been translated to Hindi. I'm going to select English again. You can see there are two language packs that are currently installed. One is English United States and the other one is Hindi. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out. I'm going to click here, I'm going to log out, and now you can see the language switcher right over here. Now in case I switch to English and click change, everything changes to English. If I click this and move it back to Hindi, click change, everything moves back to Hindi. So this is the change that has been introduced. Again, the code snippet to remove this feature is in the blog post that we have created for the WordPress 5.9, and you will have to add this code snippet in the functions.php file of your site. Now this concludes everything that you need to know about the WordPress 5.9 update. In case you have any queries, then feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you have found the video helpful, then make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, the link to our other social media platforms are in the description box below. Make sure you check them out as well. So with that said, I'll meet you in the next video.